Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mini-Sode where today we'll be talking about WWE Raw 2. Like most wrestling game sequels, Raw 2 is all about adding more to the overall package, and since the first Raw was very bare bones, Raw 2 brings a lot more to the table this go round. The standard exhibition modes make a return with normal, hardcore, street fight, ladder, table, TLC, battle royale, cage, and of course the new Hell in a Cell, as well as King of the Ring, Tournament, and Royal Rumble. The Creative Wrestler mode also makes a return and is actually more robust this time around, with more options and features to really make your creation stand out. Plus, you can have custom soundtracks for entrance music, finally. The biggest addition to Raw 2 is the one fans desperately wanted the first time, a season mode. Like most wrestling games, with this mode, Season takes you through a series of matches with the goal being getting to WrestleMania. Before you start a week, you can set up whether or not to interfere in other matches by calling out, manipulating others, or interrupting matches with either a positive or negative effect on your own stamina. It's pretty nice to see a staple for wrestling games make its way here, and the fact that you can play it with up to 4 players is a sweet bonus. Gameplay itself, though, is a mixed bag. There are some improvements like a new voltage meter, and grapples are easier to perform. However, the controls are for the most part the same as the first, and if you're not a fan of that style, then you're not going to like it here. Me personally, most wrestling game controls aren't that bad, but what bothers me with them, specifically in Raw 2, is when the game tells you to tap any button quickly, and when you do, either nothing happens, or in the case of trying to break a grapple, your opponent is already throwing you to the mat before you can even press a button. Sitting there mashing everything on your controller trying to pull off anything will eventually get frustrating, and funny enough, I remember my friends in high school almost breaking their controllers because of it. Plus, they took out blocking for some reason, and now you can only dodge. Now, before anyone goes and gets defensive in the comments, I'm not bashing wrestling games, as there are some good ones out there on the older consoles. I myself have just never understood the control mechanics on most of them, and more often than not, don't stick to playing them due to that. Visually though, Raw 2 is a substantial improvement over the first, with character models looking more impressive for the big green, and an audience that's now made of actual polygons. As for audio, it's about the same as the first, a decent soundtrack with the ability to add your own, and minimal voice work. For all intents and purposes, WWE Raw 2 is more of the same, with new things added to give the game a bit more longevity. Besides a welcome season mode and even more robust character creation, there is not much else to really say here. If you had to choose between which Raw to get, of course 2 is the definite choice. Despite my feelings on the controls and the fact it doesn't help I'm not really into wrestling anymore, this is still a fun game and I had a decent time with it. I probably would have had more fun if I had friends over to play it with, so I do recommend it to anyone who is collecting for the big green and wants a good wrestling game. Now, I'm still not sure if this is the actual best wrestling game on Xbox, as there's still a few more, like I said last time, including WWE WrestleMania. Though, I've not heard good things about that, so this is probably as best as the Xbox will get, and that's okay. And with that, this is the Dali Popka, and as always, stay green my friends. I'll see you next time.